This video provides an overview of the Activity Builder feature in Smart Notebook 11. Here I am going to show you how to use the Activity Builder and start creating rich interactions inside of Smart Notebook. Firstly, we'll talk about the kinds of interactions you might wish to use in a Smart Notebook file, whether they include instant feedback and how these can be achieved with the Activity Builder. Then we'll look at the settings of Activity Builder and go over some examples. When creating an interactive activity, you have to ask yourself whether the feedback for the interaction should be instant or not. Do you want the user to see immediately if they are correct, or do you want this feedback to happen at a later time? Often, when a user is going through a self-paced activity, it makes sense for them to see immediately if they are correct. But a whole class activity might be better designed when the feedback occurs at a later moment. When you have an activity that requires different students to come up to the Smartboard interactive whiteboard and complete the activity, if the pieces snap into place when you are correct, then the activity gets easier and easier the more you complete, to the point where the last label can be placed without even paying attention to what it says. Consider a more manual way of revealing the feedback, and what you get is a much more group-oriented activity where the teacher can involve all students together. They can debate whether all the pieces are in the correct spot before checking. At the end, the teacher can ask, does anyone think any of these are placed incorrectly? Does anybody want to change anything before we check? The teacher has the attention of the students on them whilst they are waiting for the feedback. This gives the teacher the control to decide when the feedback should be given, and creates teaching moments for the teacher to expand on each answer as they are revealed. Before Smart Notebook 11, there were only a number of ways to deliver content that gave instant feedback. These methods involve use of sound files and object animations, but were only accessible using tap and touch methods of interaction. If you wanted instant feedback using drag and drop, then you would have needed to use Adobe Flash to create them. Whilst there are advantages to Flash for developing interactive content, when you put yourself into the mindset of the teacher, there are actually many reasons why Flash is not the best tool to use. It can also be very time-intensive for the publisher to create, especially if the publisher wants to make the content a non-linear experience. Flash is separate from a teacher's main interactive whiteboard teaching tools, so there is a disconnect and there is limited integration with third-party accessory content they may wish to use at the same time to enhance the lesson. There is little ability for a teacher to tweak and edit content to suit the needs of their students, and it's very rare that Flash content is correctly developed to a point that enables a teacher to pick up where they left off if they do not complete the content in one session. Now with Smart Notebook 11, you can create instant feedback drag and drop activities using Activity Builder. The process will be much quicker for the developer than using Adobe Flash, and will allow the teacher to adjust and tweak the content, thus making it more valuable to them. Let's take a look at Activity Builder in action. In Smart Notebook 11, you will see a new tab that looks like a piece of a jigsaw. Click on this tab to open the Add-ons section. Inside the Add-ons section, you will see the Activity Builder icon. Click it to get started. The Activity Builder works by assigning an object on the page to act as a placeholder that accepts or rejects content. These are called activity objects. Select an object on the page and in the Activity Builder window, press the Edit button. This turns it into an activity object, and you will see gray lines over the object. These are only present in the Edit mode. Once you have an activity object selected, the Activity Builder window will change. The next step is to choose which objects on the page should be accepted by the activity object, and which should be rejected. Select all the objects that should be accepted by the activity object, and drag these into the box at the top in the Activity Builder window. Select all the objects you want to be rejected by the activity object, and drag these to the box at the bottom in the Activity Builder window. Or just click on the button that says Add All Remaining. This will add anything else that is on the page that doesn't live in the Accept These Objects box. If you have made a mistake, you can select an object and click the trash can to remove it from that box. When you have finished setting up your correct and incorrect answers, click the Settings button. Now you can choose how you want the feedback to be displayed to the user when they interact with the activity. You have the choice of several animations to display when the answer is correct, or you can choose not to play an animation. Check the box below the animation choice to play the object's sound when it is correctly dragged to the right activity object. This will play whatever sound is attached to the object. If the answer is incorrect, you can choose to have the object do nothing or bounce back to its original location before it was dragged. You can also play a sound when the answer is incorrect. When this is complete, press the Done button and your activity object will be ready to use. You can test it by dragging your content to the activity object and observing its behavior. Content can be assigned to more than one activity object, so that it could be correct in multiple places. You can also set images, ink, or vector shapes as your activity objects. Let's look at some example activities. In this example, we can build up a face. There are invisible activity objects around the face that accept or reject particular features. If I unlock this and change its transparency to 100, you can see how it was created. In this example, a sound file has been attached to the content, which gives audio directions on where to put it. Once again, an invisible activity object has been positioned in all of the areas on the map.
I am located south of City Hall. I am located north of the park.
By now, I hope you have seen how powerful this new tool in Smart Notebook 11 is. It will enable you to create instant feedback interactions without the need to spend development time on scripting, and gives a lot of freedom to the teacher to adjust the content for their specific needs. This concludes this Activity Builder tutorial. Thanks for watching.